The biggest part of a fish's diet is aquatic insects. These are bugs that spend the majority of their life in or on the water, and most of the flies that we use in fly fishing are tied to imitate these bugs. So, the more you know about aquatic insects, the more fish you're going to put in the net. There are 4 main types of aquatic insects, but today we're talking about the buffalo wing of the aquatic insect world. They come in tons of varieties and fish love them. That's right, we're talking about caddis. Caddisflies are a medium-sized aquatic insect, and they're almost as abundant as mayflies in a lot of the world's trout rivers. They're an important insect for fly fishing everywhere from California to Alaska or New Mexico to Pennsylvania. Caddis have a distinct look that makes them very easy to tell apart from other aquatic insects. As nymphs, caddis look like little worms with heavily segmented bodies, and often have a light-colored body with a very dark head. Caddis nymphs will have a green or light tan hue, which is why you see so many caddis nymphs tied in that color. As adults, they have long wings that they fold over their back like a tent. They tend to have shorter, fatter bodies than mayflies, but do have a pair of long antennae. They also don't have tails like mayflies or stoneflies. Don't worry about writing all this information down. We've actually put together a pocket caddis guide that's got everything in it we're talking about today. All of our graphics, all of our pictures, and our recommended flies are in that guide. I'll throw a link in the description if you're interested. Now, let's take a look at the caddis life cycle to see how we can use that information to help us catch more fish. Caddis nymphs behave a little bit differently than other aquatic insects. As a larva or baby nymph, they often build little cases out of rocks or sticks, and those cases cling to larger boulders and branches on the river bottom. Some caddis nymphs, however, will float freely throughout the water. Once they've matured enough, they'll enter their pupa or emerger stage, where they rise up through the water column to hatch into an adult and take on the world. They might bounce or flutter around for a second, but then they'll fly away. Caddis bounce and tumble through the air. They do not move with very much grace, kind of like me at a buffet. I'm throwing elbows. Once they've left the river, they'll hang out in bushes and trees until they're ready to mate. They can survive for up to a month outside of the water, and in the evenings, they'll move up or down the river in large swarms. They don't touch the water again and become available to fish until they return to lay their eggs and die. Caddis are found throughout most trout rivers in America. In fact, I would be shocked if your local river didn't have any. They are active from early summer through mid-fall and are usually most active in the late afternoon and evening, but you might find some out in the mornings as well. Caddis hatches are usually wrapped up by October. Now, let's talk about the patterns that we use to imitate caddis. These are what I have in my box all year long. The nymphs I use to imitate the larva and pupa living near the bottom of the river or drifting in the current are a peeping caddis, hare's ear, Frenchie, which is the goat, caddis pupa, and caddis emergers. The dry flies I use to imitate the adults on or near the surface: an Elk Hair Caddis in a variety of sizes and colors, foam caddis, and a CDC Caddis. Now that you've got all this caddis information downloaded in your brain, let's go put it into practice.
Son of a gun!
Oh crap, there's blood everywhere.
Dude, what happened?
The things I do for content. So Alex promised me bug nirvana if I fell down that cliff over there and bloodied myself. And he might be right, because there's about 1 million caddis on the water, and I think we've been here for like 2 minutes, and you can see fish rising consistently to caddis over there. So it's gonna be a good day. So I'm just rigging up, I'm putting an Elk Hair Caddis on top, and I'm just gonna drop a Frenchie below it a little bit. You know, and I say I'm gonna drop the Frenchie, but as soon as I say that, I think I'm gonna put a caddis emerger on there, because I can see these fish eating right below the surface. So it makes me think that they're probably snacking on that more so than the nymph, which is what the Frenchie would imitate. So I'm gonna put a caddis emerger on behind this elk hair. My favorite fly to tie. If I could only tie elk hair caddis for the rest of my life, I'd die happy. I wouldn't. I hate tying elk hair caddis. Fish just rose. It's been this story is sitting here. We've been getting ready.
There's like 20 of them.
And I just wanted to like get in here and just jump in and start fishing, but they're rising. Another one just went. They're rising so consistently and they're obviously so keyed in. I don't want to screw this up. So I can't just jump in there and start casting. I'm gonna have to sneak around and get behind them and make sure that my first cast is good. So Alex lost rock, paper, scissors, so I gotta fish first. So I'm gonna sneak down here, see what I can do. Hey, Alex, I don't know if there's enough caddis. If it's not too deep right here, I can probably just stand right here and make it work. But
That looks dicey.
what, you don't think I can pull that off?
All right. Any final words?
I love you, Jess. I'm already bruised, bloodied, and battered. What's drowned?
At least this will go viral. You can probably sneak up that left side, right?
So I'm an expensive employee. Just dropped one of our mics right in the drink. First time I've done that, thankfully, but stings a little bit. That's a dumb idea, all right? I hope everybody watching that looked at me and went, Durant, you freaking idiot. What are you doing? That's stupid, because that was dumb, okay? Because even if I hooked a fish right there, what am I gonna do to land it? Airmail the friggin' thing? I don't know what I was thinking, all right? I'm gonna get up, kind of around this corner. I think there's a break in those willows. I can kind of set up right there. Ugh.
Hey, look, there's a spot.
Yeah. It's almost like some idiot should have figured that out at the first place before he dropped one of our mics in the river. All right. There we go. Boom, right there. Oh yeah. Hey buddy. He ate a caddis, second cast. He just came up and smacked it. Didn't even look at the emerger, just went right for the dun. So that's kind of fun. Nice little brownie. Caught that first one. Now let's see, they're still feeding in here, so let's see what else we can get. I felt like I was a little close, so I'm glad to know that being this close didn't put the fish down. That's always a pro and con that you've got to weigh when you're fishing, especially really small water like this when they're coming up. Because yeah, they're eating and they're eagerly eating off the top, but that doesn't mean they're gonna be stupid either. So you still have to be wary of where you're at and how you may or may not spook the fish. I'm like the nervous excited because this is first caddis hatch of the year for me. So I'm false casting too much because I'm so nervous. I'm like, I want the cast to be perfect. And you just do more harm than good if you false cast too much. The fish don't like it. Increases the chance for getting tangled. Just pick it up, put it down. There's one that flashed right here, but I haven't seen him come back to it. But there are a couple more feeding further up. Maybe the one I caught went and told all his friends, don't eat it, it's fake. Woo! Stick fish! Yeah! Just gonna stay really low and try and get my fly off of that branch without spooking a fish. Let's see if it's even possible. Oh! Set the hook just a second too soon. You gotta wait for the fish to go all the way down with it, and I didn't. I set it right as it came up and grabbed it, but you can watch and you can see in the slow motion footage of this that I'm sure Alex is gonna show us all, the fish come up, they eat it, and then they go back down. So you've gotta wait for them to go down. There we go, on the emerger. I watched, he came up after my fly went past him, and then the emerger moved, and I set, or the dry fly moved, and I just set the hook. Hey buddy, thanks for playing.